good morning. Welcome to JDB's Morning. Today is Wednesday, April 22nd, 2026. And NFL draft is one day away. So we are all looking forward to this. Hopefully, today's talk show we'll talk about NBA playoffs and all that stuff. So right now, things have been really tricky here in this early parts of the playoffs. There isn't much of a path right now, so we could get that thing and this is what it's all about. All right, let's get this show started. Let's start with recaps from Game 2 yesterday. Last night, the game was in Boston in Game 2 of the best of 7 Eastern first round. The Philadelphia 76ers survived from the Celtics 16-0 run in the first quarter. And then the 76ers took control the rest of the game, including VJ Epchcom, his first playoff career 30-point game. He made 6 threes, 10 rebounds. Tyrese Maxey had 29 points. Paul George was effective as well, 19 points. And Andre Drummond, 10 points, 4 for 4 from the field, including a made three-pointer as well. As the Philadelphia 76ers seized Game 2 to even up this series over the Celtics 111-97. Despite Jaylen Brown led the way with 36 points for the Celtics. So let me ask this question about this. How big of the win was the 76ers last night? Well, this was a big win for Philadelphia. Like I said yesterday, if Philadelphia wants to win yesterday, and they got it, the intense level has to be there. And not only the offense showed up last night, the defense showed up for much of since Celtics had a 16-0 run in the first quarter. Since then, the 76ers took control for the rest of the game. The Sixers only commit 7 turnovers. They did a good job taking care of the basketball. They made 19 threes. They shot 49% from downtown, 48% from the field. That's a 48% from the field. That's a good sign for Philadelphia to make an offense much useful. But I'm impressed with VJ Epchcom. He performed at a really high level last night. His first playoff career 30-point game. I mean, it didn't come in at a critical time. Tyrese Maxey had 29 points. He had 9 assists as well, so he facilitated it all around last night. And Philadelphia, the reason why they even up this series, they got to make sure they got to keep this series competitive as much as possible. If they lose 6 games, that's a good. Nick Nurse will not be mad at it if they drop 4 out of 6. They're facing a great Celtics team. You got to win at least one game in this series, and you got yourself in this one. And now you're back at home on Friday in Philadelphia in Game 3. You get a couple of days of rest, and now Nick Nurse, he said we need to get off to an even better start in the first quarter. The last 2 first quarters for the 76ers hasn't been great. So The Celtics outscored the 76ers in the first quarter in the first two games of the playoffs, 61-43 in the first two games of the first quarter of the playoffs. So they got to change that if they want to win this series. First quarter is going to be critical for Philadelphia. If they struggle in the first quarters in every game in the series, they can't win the series. Ironically, when you're struggling, when the low seeds are struggling in the first quarter, it's really difficult to overcome. It really is. But I'm happy that the 76ers got their victory on the road. Meanwhile, for the Celtics, tough night ahead last night. Jaylen Brown did have 36 points. Jason Tatum only had 19. He did have 14 rebounds and 9 assists. They struggled with turnovers. Well, they had 11. It's still not bad, but the reason why they lost last night, some untimely turnovers. They shot 26% from downtown, 13 for 50. They shot 39% from the field, 35 for 89. Just ineffective shooting last night. So I don't think it's going to affect them the rest of this series for the Celtics in general. If it doesn't, can the Celtics survive from poor shooting in the playoffs? I'm not sure about that. I do know this. Every playoffs against teams may be tested for certain reasons. That's the main reason you get past these teams. You got to catch your hands. That's the key. So, like I said, this series expect to go as deep as possible. So if this series goes to 6 games, that's a good thing for Philadelphia. It's not going to be 5 games. It could be 6 or 7 games. It could be a hard-fought series. The Celtics if the Celtics try to navigate from the poor shooting, you can be sure there's nothing else you can really take away from. And that's the main reason for the early situation to really go at it. That's not a problem. That is not a problem at all. You do not want to see it really happen if that's going to be the case. So Game 3 will be in Philadelphia on Friday as the Celtics trying to regain some confidence on Friday to go up 2-1. So we'll see how the Game 3 plays out from here on out. All right, let's move on from this. But yes, Game 2 in San Antonio, Texas was a thriller. But first, Victor Wembanyama left the game in the second quarter with a concussion. He never came back. And then the Spurs were up by 14 in the fourth quarter. And then Scoot Henderson and the Blazers spark a comeback, and they defeat the San Antonio Spurs 106-103. Dan Vassell chance to tie it to 7 overtime, could not do it, as the Trailblazers stole Game 2 to even up this series at 1 apiece. So this was a really, really hard-fought, nice win for the Blazers, despite the fact they commit 15 turnovers. 74% at the line. I mean, it feels like the Blazers are going to be down 2-0. But Scoot Henderson had a phenomenal game. 31 points, 5 made three-pointers. Drew Holiday made some clutch plays. Robert Williams makes some clutch plays down the stretch. Danny Avia struggled in game 2. But Scoot Henderson saved the game to avoid 2-0 series, avoid being down 2-0. I mean, if it wasn't for Scoot Henderson's heroics, then the Blazers would have been down 2-0. But I was more impressed about the Trailblazers defense with either when Wemby left because of a concussion injury. That actually helps Portland's cause. So I was proud that Tiago Splitter, former Spur, former NBA champion of the Spurs, I was proud that the Blazers found a way to get it done on the road in Game 2. And now, Blazers finally get their first home playoff game since 2019. Since Game 6 of the Western Conference, actually since Game 4 of the Western Conference Finals. That was the last time the Blazers have played a home game in the playoffs. So let's see if that's going to be the case right now. Meanwhile, for the San Antonio Spurs, a disappointing Game 2 loss. They blew a 14-point fourth quarter lead. But first, Victor Wembanyama left the game in the second quarter with a concussion protocol. He tried to come back, but he lost the battle of the concussion protocol test. He never came back. He is evaluating later on today. So let's see if Victor does play on Friday. Against the Blazers, the series is shifting to Portland. So now it's. Are you concerned about Wemby's health in Game 2 after Game 2 loss? Not really. I'm not really concerned. If he plays Game 3, I think Spurs should be okay. Confidently, I mean, it's pretty convincing that we just been talking about the San Antonio Spurs. Try to take it all the stuff that you have. But the reason why they lost, the Blazers commit 16 turnovers. They missed 8 free throws. They went 20 for 28 at the line, which is 71%. And they went 7 for 24 from downtown. The Spurs got off to a really, really tough start early. Then they came back, and then they were up by 14 in the fourth quarter, and then they just could not make shots down the stretch. And they end up losing by 3 points. So Mitch Johnson says, after the 3-point loss, he said, "We have not been sharp in a 3-ball at all." So we have to work on that ahead of Game 3 in Portland on Friday. All right, so coming up next on JDB's Morning Cap, we'll still recap Game 2. We'll recap the Rockets and the Lakers. The Rockets right now, are they in trouble in Houston? Meanwhile, we'll preview Game 2 tonight. We have Magic and Pistons and Suns Thunder, 8 versus 1 matchup. And then, boy, the Mets just keep on struggling, and the Phillies are keeping on struggling. We will talk all of that right after this. Welcome back here on JDB's Morning Cap. Last night, Game 2 of the NBA's Western Conference first round, the Lakers battled the Rockets in Los Angeles. As the Lakers, it was a competitive game after the Lakers were up as many as 15 points, and then Rockets came back, but the Lakers never panicked down the stretch. LeBron James had 28 points, 8 for 20 from the field, 10 for 14 from the line, 8 rebounds, 7 assists. But Marcus Smart had 25 points, 5 made three-pointers. Kevin Durant had 23 points for the Rockets. Alfred Sengun with 20, and Jabari Smith Jr. with 18 points. But the Lakers' defense continues to play well, especially at home. Lakers made clutch shots down the stretch as the Lakers hold off the Rockets 101-94, and the Lakers able to take the first 2 games of the first round, 2 games to none. They had a chance to take a commanding 3-0 series as Game 3 will be in Houston on Friday night. All right, so here's the question. We'll talk the Lakers right now. Should the Lakers be confident to win this series after they're up 2 games to none? Absolutely, they should be confident. Right now, have they played their best 2 games offensively? At times, they done some good things. They've done some good things offensively, knocking down threes, making timely field goals. That's going to be key. But the defense is more impressive so far in this playoffs. The defense has struggled in the regular season, but the defense has been a lot better in this playoffs. Even though they're 2 games into the postseason, they won both of those games, and they held under 100 points through the first 2 games of the playoffs for the Lakers. Lakers have held Houston under 100 points. So that is a more than a great sign for JJ Redick. They need the defense to get better in the playoffs by going forward. And now going on the road with Houston has been very solid at home in the regular season. But the Lakers have been pretty good on the road in the regular season. So this is going to be challenging for the Lakers going on the road. Try to get the same level of intensity. I mean, for Houston, we'll get to that in a second, but the Lakers should feel pretty good to be up 2 games tonight. LeBron, by the way, he's 32-0 when he's up 2 games to none. He has never lost a series when he's up 2-0. He's won 32 series. That's the most playoff series win when up 2 games to none by any player in the history of the NBA. That's the minimum of 30 playoff series. No player in the history of the NBA, no other player in the NBA history has won at least 25 games. At least 25 playoff series wins in NBA history than LeBron James. If LeBron does win this series at any point, it could be a sweep. 4 games could be in 5 games, could be in 6 games, could be in 7 games. Then LeBron will be 33-0 when he's up 2 games to none. He could make history at any time. So that's that. So the Lakers are in control in this first 2 games of the first round. When the series is shifting to Houston this Friday, try to take a commanding 3-0 series lead. As for the Houston Rockets, it has been a struggle offensively. It has been a struggle offensively, especially in a 3-ball. They struggled in the 3-ball. Rockets went 7 for 29 from the field. 7 for 29 from downtown. In game 1, they shot 11 for 33. So 11 plus 7 equals 18 made 3-pointers. 33 plus 29 as far as attempts equals 62 3-point attempts. They went 18 for 62 from downtown through the first 2 games of the playoffs. And what's their 3-point field goal percentage for the Rockets through the first 2 games? They shot 29% from downtown through the first 2 playoff games. That is the worst in the NBA in the playoffs so far. Houston, in the regular season, they're not a great 3-point shooting team. Like I said, I don't trust the Rockets. I do not trust the Rockets in the playoffs. When I said even the Rockets do make the playoffs, I don't trust the Rockets in this series. Even Kevin Durant plays. I don't trust the Rockets because they don't seem to get along. They don't seem to play. They just don't play offensive energy. They don't move the ball very well. If Rockets do get bounced out of the first round, they want to get Fred VanVleet back, but they need a true point guard. They need a guard who's taking better care of basketball. The Rockets had 15 turnovers in game 2. Rockets commit 28 turnovers through the first 2 playoff games. They're not taking care of the basketball. They average around 14 turnovers a game through the first 2 games. They're not taking care of the basketball. If you don't take care of the basketball, you can't win basketball games. I mean, the Rockets team, they've just been inconsistent with their shooting and their ball security. That has been a problem all season long. Especially in clutch situations. Yeah, last night the game went down to the wire. It was a clutch game last night in Los Angeles. Lakers were the best clutch team in basketball. The Rockets were middle of the pack in that department this season. I mean, Houston last year, they were one of the best clutch teams in basketball the previous season. This year, middle of the pack because their late game execution has been porous at times. The late game execution has been porous at best. That's the problem. You go through the same issues like that. And what Rockets need to do something in game 3, avoiding being down 3-0. The series is shifting to Houston. They need Kevin Durant. Get Kevin Durant the ball. Kevin Durant has not been involved in the fourth quarter or in the entire second half. That is a cause for concern for those Houston Rockets. And you got to execute and perform at a high level. That's going to be critical by going forward as well. You're going to need that. Go to game 3. They really need that. All right, come next. We'll preview Magic and Pistons in game 2. Also, we're going to preview Suns and the Thunder in game 2. And also, the Mets and the Phillies continue to struggle. We will talk about all of that right after this. Welcome back. Tonight, game 2 of the Eastern Conference first round. It'll be the Magic take on the Pistons. Magic has the series lead 1-0. So let's see if the Magic can steal the first 2 games of this series. Or the Pistons could bounce back and even up this series and snap their 11 home game playoff losing streak. They have not done so since 2008. So here's the thing. Can the Pistons snap their home losing streak in the playoffs? I think they can. I think they can do it. If that's the case, then you could see everybody to put yourself in a really good prime position. To work all this, but and then you would have changed it. They would have changed this much because of that. And there's not much of a problem at all, but then the Pistons just need to get better if they want to even up this series. Kate Cunningham, the rest of the Pistons has to play better if they want to even up this series. So if there's a potential hope and optimism, they need one of the guys to really step up when it matters most. Okay, so you gotta perform in significant needs. That's going to be crucial by going forward if they want to sustain it. I think Pistons have a pretty good chance to bounce back if that's going to be the case, and how they can do that. They need to shoot the 3 ball better. They need to take better care of basketball. They need to knock down free throws. That's what you're going to need. They got to need to do that for the rest of this series. If they can continue to do all this and all that stuff, then they can. Then you can trust yourself. You gotta trust yourself right now. If that's gonna be the case. So that's that. So let's see if Detroit comes all the way down and make sure they can put them in a golden opportunity. There's nothing else you can take away from. So it really helps to see how much it works out for the best. Meanwhile, for Orlando Magic, they come off a upset Game 1 win this past Sunday. Now, how the Magic could take 2-0 in the series here tonight. They need to do something. They need Paolo Banchero to get more involved if they want to go up 2-0. Orlando Magic, even the regular season hasn't gone well as planned. So if they can do better in the playoffs and try to win at least 1 or 2 games in this series, then you got to be hungry. And they were hungry in Game 1. They can be even hungrier in Game 2, hopefully. But, that's going to be the key by going forward. They just want to play better and better and better. So, who do you like to win Game 2, Pistons or the Magic? I like Detroit Pistons winning in Game 2. I think they'll bounce back in Game 2. Meanwhile, let's talk Suns and the Thunder. Thunder dominate the Suns in Game 1. Now, Game 2 is tonight in Oklahoma City. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander did score a lot of points, but he didn't shoot the ball well in Game 1. Let's see if he can shoot the ball better in Game 2 in this playoffs. Speaking of which, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander won the NBA Kia's Clutch Player of the Year. He beat out Jamal Murray and Anthony Edwards. So SGA led the NBA with most clutch points in the NBA this season. We talk about the Oklahoma City Thunder. This season been going through some ups and downs. And now, hopefully Thunder can take control in this series. And beyond that, facing a Suns team, they are just trying to compete in all levels. But the Oklahoma City Thunder is probably the key. It's a spur moment thing right now. These teams are just gonna take full steps ahead. Then you can go right ahead and beat just do your team like this. But SGA has done some great things. When he doesn't shoot the ball well, he finds ways to get teammates involved and provide spark with other than SGA. Jalen Williams, J-Dub, Chet Holmgren, Alex Caruso, Cason Wallace. We need a supporting cast consistency. That's going to be the key in this series. Supporting cast consistency and production. So if you make those productive moments in the playoffs, that's going to be the key by going forward. And you can spine yourself down low because of that. So if that's the case, then they need to shoot the 3-ball better. And hopefully it's not going to affect them in the playoffs by going forward. If you don't knock down threes, you can't win games like that. But let's just be strict about it. If Thunder wants to get past 2 rounds, is this a critical moment for them? Is this a critical moment? You got to get past these teams. To ensure the deep playoff run goes. But if that's the case, then you don't want that to happen. And that's why, how talented are you? And now the Thunder. And now SGA wins the clutch for the year. So that's always a good sign to be in generals right now. If that's going to be the case in this one here. Meanwhile, for the Phoenix Suns, they got blown out in game one. Now they just need to bounce back in game two. They need more production out of not just Devin Booker, Jalen Green, Dylan Brooks. Guys, they need some serious production. They gotta perform at a high level. That's gonna be the key for them. You got to perform at a high level. That's the big question. Can they perform a high level tonight in game two? If they don't, they could be down 2-0 and the series may be over. You don't want that to happen. Just compete. Just compete. That's gonna be the key. You gotta find a way to compete. If you want to take game two of this series, to even up this series. And that's the problem. Because the biggest problem in their last game is turnovers. So they got to do a better job taking care of the basketball. I mean, that doesn't mean you could go through the same issues, but you just got to perform better. That's going to be critical by going forward. But you got to get through this in the process if that's going to be the case right now. So you got to do everything right because you're going to make sure there's a lot of things to regain some confidence. But Devin Booker has to be the leader here tonight if that's going to be the case. Because Jordan Ott, the Suns head coach, we need somebody to perform. This is about consistency. Consistency is going to be critical by going forward. Hopefully that's going to help your way. Hopefully that really helps. So we don't have to see it for one day. You're just going to waste your time. Because you're not willing to take your chance to be at it. So it certainly it comes all the way out in this one. So this is not a problem at all. So we'll see how that plays out there. All right, so who do you think who should win game two tonight, Suns or the Thunder? I picked Thunder win game two. I think they'll take 2-0. I think this game will be much closer than expected, but I think Thunder will pull it away late, and Thunder will take game two and take 2-0 in this series. So we'll see how it plays out tonight in game two of the Western Conference first round. So we'll have to see all of that in this one. So we gotta get yourself ready to go here. And this one there. All right, coming up next on JDB's Morning Cap, our final segment, we'll talk the Phillies and the Mets. Did they snap their respective losing streaks? We will find out in about a couple more minutes, and then we'll wrap things up and we'll talk our next episodes, including NFL Draft Day. Today is NFL Draft Eve. Tomorrow's NFL Draft Day for round one. I'll preview that tomorrow, including the Raiders are currently on the clock. So we're gonna preview all these NFL draft stuff tomorrow for the first round. And we'll move on from that. We'll step away in about a couple minutes. All right, welcome back here. So the Phillies and the Mets were in action. Actually, the Phillies were in action yesterday against the Cubs, game 2 of their 4-game set. The Phillies had lost 6 straight games before that. They lost 5-1 to the Cubs on April 20th on Monday. And then yesterday, it was 1-1 before the Cubs finishing a 7-3 run in each of the last 3 innings. Cubs scored 2 in the 6th, 3 in the 7th, and 1 in the 8th. And it ended up Cubs beating the Phillies 7-4. And the losing streak of the Phillies extends to 7 games. So Phillies have lost 7 in a row. We on for the New York. So we'll take one step at a time. Here's my question: what is wrong with the Philadelphia Phillies? They have now lost 7 consecutive games in a row. The offense continues to struggle. And that was the reason why they can't get big hits or runners in score position. It's been doing time and time again. The bullpen let them down last night. Luzardo failed to reach 5 innings. That cost him the bullpen last night. The bullpen gave up 6 earned runs. The Phillies bullpen has given up 6 earned runs. It was a problematic performance last night. You have to go through the same issues over and over again. And that's the problem, because the Phillies are sitting 8-15 on the season. When you lose 7 games in a row, you're gonna go through that slide. Is there still time to figure it out? Oh yeah, there's still a lot of time to figure it out. You got several months left to play. They gotta play better baseball than that. The Philadelphia Phillies have not played their greatest baseball right now, despite they're talented enough to be a National League juggernaut, to be high leverage contenders. And right now they're not seriously National League or Major League World Series contenders. It's been an issue right now. Their offense has been inconsistent. The pitching has been a problem. They gotta play consistent baseball. They just have not played consistent baseball. This is not who they were right now. This is not who they are. This Phillies team has really struggled to get going right now. So they have lost 7 straight games. Meanwhile, for the New York Mets, last night, when coming into last night's game, they were sitting on an 11-game losing streak. In the third inning, Francisco Lindor hit a 3-run home run, try to provide their spark. They make it 3-0. And then Nolan McLean had a solid outing, 6 2/3, 5 hits, 3 earned runs, did not walk anyone, struck out 10. He had a solid outing last night. He did give up a 2-run shot to Byron Buxton to make this a 1-run game. That was in the 6th inning. And then Luke Keyshaw hit a game-tying single in the top of the 7th inning to make it 3-3. So that was that. And then in the 9th inning, Devin Williams comes up on the mound. So it started off with 2 walks and then bunted into a fielder's choice. Everyone was safe, by the way. Everybody was safe on the bunt into fielder's choice because the fielder went to third, but the runner was safe at third. Everyone was safe. Safe at second, safe at first. There was no attempt to throw out second. He did not throw to first. He did not throw to second. He threw to third, but he's safe to load the bases. So it goes as a sacrifice bunt, fielder's choice. And then Luke Keyshaw delivers a go-ahead single to left field to make it 4-3. And then Matt Warner delivers an RBI bases loaded walk against Devin Williams. And Devin Williams did not record an out in the 9th inning. And then Carlos Mendoza, the manager, took him out of the game. Adam Warren, who's pitching for the Mets, who took. It's Austin Warren. Austin Warren took over for the Mets. He struck out the side to save the deficit. Then the Mets came in the bottom of the 9th. All they got to do is Cole Sands was on the mound. He pitched the 8th inning when the game was tied. And now he's pitching with a lead, and he's pitching for the win. Luis Torn struck out for 1 out. Francisco Alvarez lined out to right field to Matt Warner for 2 outs. And then Tyrell Taylor strikes on the foul tip to end the game. And Cole Sands was the winning pitcher in relief. The loss went to Devin Williams. No save. No one got the save because Sands pitched the 8th inning in a tie game in that situation. The Twins improved to 12-11. Surprise season continues for Minnesota. And the Mets are now 7-16. The losing streak extends to 12. Right now, the New York Mets, the boos, there were a lot of boos late in the game. They booed Devin Williams after he had a rough 9th inning. The Mets continued to boo after the offense failed to rally in the 9th inning. It's been a frustrating to start the season. 7-16, losing 12 in a row. They need to do something right now. It has been a really major struggle right now to get going. The offense has been struggling at this point on. They average around 2 runs a game, 1.8 runs a game during this 12-game losing streak. They're not hitting well when runners in scoring position. That's been a problem right now. And the Mets are inability to add on another blown lead for the Mets. Another blown lead for the Mets. That's 2 losses now, or at least 2 losses. When they had the lead after 5, at least after 5 innings. They were up 1-0 going to the bottom of the 9th. Cubs tied in the 9th, and they won it in the 10th. The Mets were up 3-0 after 5. They were up 3-2 after 6. And then they tied it, and the Twins tied it in the 7th. The Twins scored 2 in the 9th to put the Twins ahead. And the Mets just never scored since. The Mets never respond since that time. It's been a problem right now for the New York Mets. It's tough to go. It's tough to go through it right now. The Mets fans are going through it. They have lost 12 straight games, and they're sick of it. They're clearly sick of it. Tonight. Oh, by the way, the Mets have the worst record in baseball through 23 games, next to the Royals. The Phillies have the second worst team in the National League. The Mets are the worst team in the National League and in all of baseball. That just can't be happening. You lost Juan Soto. If Juan Soto comes back, then the Mets will be back on track. Right now, the offense has really struggled. They can't get out of their own way right now. Ew. This team is sick. Absolutely sick. They've really been struggling right now. It's tough. The Mets are a mess in NYC. Stands for New York City. The Mets, this team is pain in the ass. Absolutely pain in the ass. They're in some damn pain right now. They need to fire all their asses. That's it. They got to go. Get rid of the damn coaching staff. I don't give a damn as a hitting coach or hitting assistant coach or a manager. They got to get out of here. Get the hell out. All right, man. It's time to close it out on JDB's Morning Cap. What's coming up tomorrow's JDB's Morning Cap? Tomorrow, we're going to talk the NFL Draft. Round 1 preview. Raiders are on the clock tomorrow in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Hopefully they can get Fernando Mendoza in the NFL Draft. We'll recap. I'll recap tomorrow for tonight's game 2 between the Magic and the Pistons and the Suns Thunder tomorrow. I'll recap those tomorrow. Then I'll preview tomorrow's game 3. Who's in action game 3 tomorrow? We got the Hawks hosting the Knicks. We got the Timberwolves hosting the Nuggets. And we got Raptors hosting the Cavs. That's your game 3 games tomorrow of their schedule. So tomorrow will be April 23rd, 2026. So we will continue this podcast tomorrow. There's a lot going on. So we can do all this. So it feels really, really good. I got up early in the morning. I want to do this talk show as early as possible. I've done that several times so far this year. So hopefully I can continue to do it again down the stretch of 2026. So it really helps to keep my health in order. So that will be that. So it's going to be critical for the next several months as May is approaching. All right, man. I'm out of here, man. This is JDB's Morning Cap. We'll be back at it tomorrow, same time, and hopefully your day is pretty great. Enjoy it. Have a good one.